Hi, beautiful Lightworker tribe. This is Sheea from Austin, Texas today, your Tantra specialist, coming to you with messages that I'm channeling. And so today's message is kind of a refreshing one. I know hearing it for myself, it's been very helpful. And so I'm sharing it with you now, which is, we're breaking out of our programming. This is an awakening, in the collective that's happening. And it's an ongoing process of awakening and breaking out of our old programming. And so I'm enjoying sharing those aha moments that I'm having in my life and that I feel I'm supposed to share with you. And so I've been getting some downloads around, when I feel like spirit's maybe asking me to do certain things in service, and then I, might have an excuse, and they're giving me this perspective of saying like, so Sheea, when you get to the end of your life, and are you going to just say, oh, well, I wasn't totally sure if I wanted to do that or not, and then, now it's too late kind of thing? Like, are you going to be okay with the fact that all this time has passed and you were sent here to do this, and then you came up with some kind of excuse that really isn't worthy of you losing out on that complete experience? And I was like, yeah, you're right. I feel like the time is now, and I don't want to find myself at some point in the future going, oh, I completely missed out on my purpose here and what I was supposed to do because I came up with some excuse, which, just is silly, honestly, in retrospect, considering what I feel I'm supposed to do here. So just be aware of that in your own life. Sometimes we can postpone, delay to the point where it's like, well, when are you gonna come out and be the light that's shining for the highest good of all? Because if you get to your end of your life and you still haven't done it, are you going to be okay with that? Or are you going to feel the sorrow and the tragedy of having missed your chance, missed your target, so to speak? So I've been aware of that message a little bit, and I'm also excited about the fact that it does feel like, as star seeds, light workers, whatever you consider yourself, those of you who are aware, I guess, of being here on the planet at this specific time to be a light, and that you chose to do so exactly at this time, that, the time is now. And I know that I am guilty of the fact that I have always prided myself in being a hidden gem, and I kind of enjoyed being somewhat hidden, knowing that spirit always brings me, in my business, for instance, those who are meant to see me, where they're just very ready to have the information and the empowerment that I give, so that when the student is ready, the teacher appears, kind of thing. And I didn't really have to advertise much or put myself out there very publicly, because it just would happen naturally. But I also kind of enjoyed hiding behind, that quiet life of doing my magic service in hiding almost, or just privately, without really talking about it too much. And, just leading a quiet life behind the scenes and doing well. And I feel like many of us are at that point in the timeline where we're being asked to kind of like having a coming out. And that's why I've returned to YouTube and doing these sharings, because they brought it to my attention that, I'm here to do this. And if I'm not doing it, then, I don't want to miss out and feel like, oh, I missed the target. And so they, I shared in the last video how they linked my financial prosperity to how much I'm actually doing my service in this way, because this is the next level or step for me in sharing, because I love the idea that I can get out this knowledge and wisdom to the planet 24/7 through YouTube. Whereas, even though I serve in my business, it's more of a one-on-one empowerment, transformational experience in Tantra, relationships, communication skills, etc. But it's more of a private one-on-one, or me with a couple experience, and it's not really getting out to the masses as fast as I would prefer. So that's why I'm here. And if you honor that, please support my channel. I have my links below for Patreon and Venmo, and it does take time and energy to channel these messages and then come to you and share them. And it's like this whole side gig kind of thing, and I would love for it to be sustainable, because then I can do it a lot more than I'm able to right now. So at any rate, those of you, I would like to encourage you that this is the time that we might be in our comfort zone of kind of being quiet behind the scenes doing our service, but a lot of us who are meant to be more out in the limelight and kind of a little bit more public so that we can reach more people, it's coming that time. And of course, I feel like I definitely got that message, at least for myself. The timing for me is now, and many of you will start to feel the same, where it's like, oh, we're not just doing our little lives anymore, like, let's get on point. We are here for a reason. We're in a transformational stage, and a lot of us who know what's going on the planet would just as soon this happen kind of sooner than later. I'd rather not be elderly by the time we finally hit our enlightenment mark, like, I want to get on to the good stuff. And the faster we do this, or just, let's just say, the more efficiently we do this, then we're not having to kind of drag through the mud with it and make it this long drawn out experience that is not as easy. I'd kind of rather we wake up, as efficiently as we can, so that we can get on to the good stuff as far as what the age of Aquarius is meant to be. And so the last point I'd like to make in this deprogramming awakening experience is that I just like to call out some stuff, because it's all about exposing things that we kind of just got so used to in our programming from society and the media, that we need to wake up to the fact that, oh yeah, that's actually not really true reality. And one of those is in the area of money, because we have been programmed that we're having to make a living and make money. And yes, we are still somewhat in that program of the matrix, and yet just like I shared in the last video, the universe sponsors those of us who are in service. And I notice that the more I am in service in this way, the more my finances flow to support me, so that I can be more and more in this type of service. And you will find the same, and claim that. And also just the general idea that, money is not God. You've been led to believe that money is the end all be all, like that's what you should be shooting for, be as rich as you can. And that is actually the old regime agenda. They very much so are all about that, but that's not really why we're here or what we're here to do. It's just a means to an end. So you can actually have a very thriving life without being rich, because you can be rich in your relationships, and rich in love, and rich in many ways in your community and in service. And we've been kind of sold this thing that we're always trying to strive to, make more money and be more wealthy. And yes, I understand that, but I also want to just call out the fact that that's an agenda, and it's also kind of a fear-based agenda, and it completely undermines the quality and the value of all the other aspects of life. Like, relationships honestly should be more in value than money. Money is unless you're using your money for good and you're a philanthropist and using it for all the right reasons, yes, that is a total form of service that is very valuable. But if you're just trying to get more money for money's sake, just so you can feel better about yourself or whatever, it's not the end all be all, is basically what I'm saying. Don't buy into the fact that that's what all of life is, because when you get on your deathbed and you're going through this planetary transformational period of time where we're going into 5D and like the age of Aquarius, where we're bringing in more and more light every day into our existence. And if you're still on the money track, you're going to miss it. Money has value, especially for how you use it, but it's not, don't make it into a god or an idol, where it's kind of overrated, I guess. And you've heard this many times, when you get to the top and then they're like, now what? That didn't really satisfy me. Movie stars and rock stars and whatever talk about this. And I recently went through an experience where I kind of was led to go through my numbers as far as my finances and figure out, okay, what's the minimum I need to make and actually to comfortably just cover my bases. And then anything on top of that is icing on the cake and such a blessing. And it took so much pressure off me to just know what my bare minimum was, knowing that I'm making more than that, and that is a blessing and prosperity, and that really, instead of putting all my energy and time and effort and investment into my business and trying to make more money or whatever, that it's really more about this, like serving in this way. This is priority, and my business will just flow naturally if I'm doing my service to humanity where I can reach more people. And so just kind of, tweaking your thinking about it a little bit. It's a lot of times this awakening process is just tweaking every day, a little bit more tweaking. At least that's what I've found. I have been tweaking things this past year since I've been in Austin, like to the nth degree. And I'm like, wow, how many times do I need to tweak this? I just keep getting more and more downloads about how to word something differently, how to approach something differently. And it's all these little tweaks that add up to a lot. And right now we live in a culture where they have made money somewhat of like this be all end all, and you have to survive and pay your bills and all that. But that's actually not why we're on the planet. So just remember that you're here for so much more than that. You don't want to be, at the end of your life going, gosh, I was just trying to stay above water and just work enough so I could sustain myself. Like that's not what it's about. You're here for a reason. You're here to experience things, to be the light that you are, because you are a unique signature that has been fashioned and designed to play your role here. And you're unique in all the world, and you made the cut to be here right now on this particular timeline when the planet is going through so much transformation. And we get to see it going from this dark place, with COVID and sex trafficking and all that, all the way to the light of complete awakening. And it's this beautiful unfolding and blossoming that's happening that we are a part of, and we're helping each other wake up faster. And so that's the bandwagon you want to get on, because we need to improve our relationships. And of course, I'm in the relationship and love field, so this is very important to me, because I just see that there's so much work to be done around deprogramming from these old messages that we've been given, just slightly through media, a little bit here, a little bit there, until we don't even realize we're in this different mode or reality about life that's actually an illusion and not really the truth. So So yeah, just a little reminder to kind of tweak us on staying on the path, you know, keeping our eye on the ball as to what's really important in life, because you can't take a bunch of materialistic things with you. You do take your relationships with you. That is one thing that sticks. So on the other side, when we're in, um, you know, in the spirit world, you do get to continue these relationships, and that's about it. And you also get to continue your wisdom and your knowledge, and all that sticks with you. So anyway, happy cheers to you for your awakening process, and I will enjoy continuing to share more, especially in the area of love and relationships and conscious sexuality, so that we can get on with a more thriving uh, life in these particular areas that I feel are really key to our fulfillment and our success, and our ability to bring that heaven down to earth as the new norm.